So you've booked the flight, you've packed your bags, but have you thought about the very first thing you're going to need the second you land? Cash. Figuring out the money situation in a new country can feel a little overwhelming, and honestly, making the wrong move right at the start can really cost you. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how to get local currency so you can travel smarter, not harder.
Okay, picture this. You've just landed. The air feels different, the signs are in another language, and you need cash. For a taxi, a coffee, a bottle of water. That very first money exchange is such a key moment. But the big question is, are you getting a good deal, or are you losing money before your vacation has even really started? So yeah, that's the big question we're tackling today. You're in a brand new place and you need money. You've got a few options right off the bat. And just knowing which one to pick can save you a surprising amount of cash and a whole lot of stress. Let's dive in and look at them.
All right, our first option is the one you literally can't miss. It's strategically placed right there as you step into the arrivals hall, the airport currency exchange counter.
You'll see these booths all over international terminals, and they offer instant cash. And yeah, they're super convenient, but, and this is a big but, that convenience almost always comes at a price. To really get what that price is, you need to understand two key ideas about how all this works.
First up, currency. Pretty simple, right? It's just the official money of a country. You can't spend your dollars in a place that uses euros, so you have to convert your money into their money. And that leads us to the most important number in this whole game, the exchange rate. This little number determines how much your money is actually worth in the local currency. A better rate means more cash in your pocket. It's that simple. Your goal is always to find the best rate you possibly can. And airport counters, well, they often give you a worse rate because, you're kind of a captive audience. Okay, so let's move on to our next option, which almost always offers a much better deal than that airport counter, just heading to a local bank. Even when you're thousands of miles from home, a bank is a familiar sight. They're official, they're regulated, and because they're dealing in massive amounts of money all day long, they generally offer fair exchange rates. This makes them a really solid, trustworthy choice, especially once you're actually in a city or town. Now, here's what you need to keep in mind. Big banks usually have branches right in the central tourist areas, which is great. But you have to pay attention to their hours. They're typically only open from about 9 in the morning to 6 at night. Oh, and this is also the place you'd go if you needed to pick up a wire transfer. That's money sent electronically from back home.
But what if the banks are closed, or you just want the absolute fastest option? Well, this brings us to what is, for most of us, the go-to choice, the ATM.
The ATM is basically your best friend for getting cash when you're traveling. Instead of exchanging your cash for their cash, you just use your regular bank card, and the machine spits out local currencies straight from your account back home. It's fast, it's available 24/7, and it usually gives you a really, really competitive exchange rate. The whole process is probably going to be identical to what you do at home. You just pop your card in, type in your PIN, and choose how much cash you want. It's a pretty universal and straightforward system.
And that PIN, your personal identification number, that's your security code, right? So obviously keep it secret. You'll just punch it into the keypad to prove that it's really you.
Now, listen up, because this is probably the single most important tip for using ATMs abroad. If you can, try to find an ATM that's owned by your own bank or one of its partner banks. Why? Because using another bank's machine often means you'll get hit with a service charge or a service fee. And trust me, those little fees can add up really, really fast. Okay, so we've covered the main ways to get cash. Let's do a super quick lightning-fast review of the key terms you need to lock in.
First up, currency. That's the local money.
Next, convert. That's the act of actually changing it.
And finally, receipt. That's your proof of the transaction. Pro tip, always get one. So there you have it. You're now totally ready to get cash confidently, pretty much anywhere in the world. From the airport counter to the local bank to the ATM, you know the pros and cons of each one. It just shows how a tiny bit of knowledge can make your travels so much smoother and cheaper. Which kind of leaves us with one last question. Now that you know how to get the money, what's the smartest way to spend it?